Hello friends, welcome back to VOWIAS. Welcome to the discussion of the prelims test series, and this is part 3 of the fourth test where we are going to discuss from question number 61 to question number 100. Now let's quickly begin the discussion. So question number 61 is with regarding to the growth and development. So you have to know the clear difference between growth and development. Growth, if you see, it is the quantitative and value neutral. It may be positive, showing an increase, or negative, showing a decrease. So here for the growth, general, it has a value. So let's say the GDP of India is growing. That means the GDP, let's say compared to previous year, it is growing at 2%. So that means there is an increase in the GDP. That is called as growth. But development, if you see, it is a qualitative value. So what is qualitative value means? For example, let's say GDP is growing at 2% or 3% or 4%. But in spite of this, if we are not seeing any qualitative change in the lives of the people, in spite of this, we are not seeing any value addition in the lives of the people, then that means there is no value addition in the overall economy, overall development. That is called as development. Okay, that is called as, in fact, the qualitative change. So the development is a qualitative change. It's a value positive. It cannot take place unless there is increment or addition in the existing conditions. That is the thing. And the development occurs when there is positive growth taking place. Yet positive growth does not always lead to development. That means when there is positive growth, that means that development will happen, even though the rate might vary. But positive growth is generally associated, but not always, with respect to development. So that means we cannot always say that yes, there is positive growth, that means there will be development. It is a chance that when there is growth, there will be development, but that does not happen certainly. Okay, that is about this 61st question. 62nd question is with regarding to the petroleum distribution. So petroleum distribution, if you see, the OPEC countries, we have the OPEC countries, the countries like Bahrain, Oman, Qatar, UAE, Iran, Iraq, right, Libya. So they are the OPEC members. The headquarters of OPEC is at Vienna, Austria. But Vienna is not part, but it is Austria is not part of this OPEC. So these are the countries that have the largest petroleum reserves. More than half of the world's proven petroleum reserves are located in Middle East. The following Middle East are Canada and US. Latin America, Africa, and the region occupied by former USSR also have reserves. Each of these regions contains less than 15% of the world's proven reserves. Major oil fields of the world, if you see, the Ghawar field in Saudi, the Burgan field in Kuwait, the Azeri Chirag Guneshli, so it is in the Caspian Sea, belongs to Azerbaijan. The Zakum in UAE, Zakum is a famous field. The Fedos in Iran, Sugarloaf field in Brazil. See here, how you can remember is sugar. Sugar mostly is associated with Brazil. It is the world's largest sugarcane exporter. So Sugarloaf field, Brazil. The Bolivar coastal field, Venezuela. So, okay, so these are the important oil fields. And the world's 5 largest oil fields, offshore oil fields, in fact, are Safania oil field in the Persian Gulf belonging to Saudi, Upper Zakum, Persian Gulf, UAE, Manifa oil field, Persian Gulf, Saudi, Kashgan oil field, Caspian Sea, Kazakhstan, Lula oil field in Brazil. So these are the world's the 5 largest oil fields, offshore oil fields, in fact. Next, 63rd question is with regard to the Channakesava temple. It is also known as the Vijayanarayana temple. This Channakesava temple is built by the Hoysala king Vishnuvardhan. To commemorate his victory over the Cholas in 1116 AD. Built by the master craftsmen Dasoja and Chavana, a father and son duo. So the location of this Channakesava temple is in Belur, Karnataka, located on the banks of Yagachi river, and it was the capital of the Hoysala Empire. So the temple is situated over there. Remember, Hoysala, see this Channakesava temple at Belur, Karnataka, on the banks of river Yagachi. It's a star-shaped temple. Took around 103 years to build. At the entrance, there is this towering Gopura and a magnificent sculpture of Garuda, which is Lord Vishnu's carrier. And there is this Shantala Devi, who is the queen of king Vishnuvardhana is a model for one of the sculptures which is there over there. There are gravity pillars which is carved out of single rock and stands on its own weight. The temples of Kape Chanaragya, the Somya Nayaki, Andal and other Vaishnava manifestations, they are surrounding around the main temple and they are equally important. And the Garbhagriha, if you see, so that is where the sanctum sanctorium where the deity lies. It is stellar in shape and it is zigzag, and its zigzag walls makes the figures of 24 forms of Lord Vishnu, which is looking different at different times of the day due to the light and shade effect. Mohana pillar is the pillar which is there, and it is the most beautiful amongst the all. So it is proposed to be listed under the UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's why it is important for us to know about it. So this is the famous Channakeswar temple at Belur in Karnataka. Now let's move on to the next question. The 64th question is with regarding to the minerals. The energy resources generally can be classified into conventional and non-conventional. Conventional energy resources are the firewood, cattle dung cake, coal, petroleum, natural gas, electricity, because conventionally we are using that. We are using all of this. The non-conventional sources, if you see, they are solar, wind, geothermal, biogas, atomic, etc. Depending upon the source and utilization, energy also can be divided into traditional or non-commercial energy and commercial energy. Okay, so here if you see the classification, the commercial energy or non-commercial energy, it can include both the conventional and non-conventional. For example, if you see in the commercial energy, coal, oil, natural gas, hydro, the nuclear power, the solar power, all of these things will come, the wind, etc. Okay, so the solar, wind, nuclear, they are part of the non-conventional sources, but still they are included in this commercial energy. Traditional non-commercial, if you see, traditional or non-commercial, firewood, charcoal, cow dung, agricultural waste, because they are not used commercially, they are used by small players. So this is about the 64th question. Next 65th question, if you see, 65th question is about the natural gas fields. So recently Russia-Ukraine was in news, and all the major gas fields and all, they are important for us from the examination point of view. 80% of these of the gas fields are in 10 nations. Russia has a quarter of total global gas reserves and holds two of the largest fields, the Urengoy and Yamburg. The Stockman field, which is one of the world's largest natural oil fields, lies in the Barents Sea, North Russia. So remember this, Urengoy, Yamburg and Stockman field. All these three are in Russia. Three major Siberian fields, the Yamburg, Urengoy and Medvedzy, and they account for 45% of the gas reserves. Okay, so this is about the major gas fields. Next, global oil reserves, if you see, largest oil reserves across the globe, if you see, they are with Venezuela. They have the largest amount of oil reserves. After that, Saudi Arabia. It has the second largest amount of oil reserves. In Venezuela, most of the oil comes from offshore or far underground and is considered to be very dense. But Saudi Arabia's oil fields, they are close to surface and makes oil much more accessible, and the extraction process is much more cost effective. That's why Saudi Arabia extracts more and sells more. The Ghawar oil field of Saudi Arabia, which is 100 kilometers southwest of Tehran in Al Hasa. Just now we have seen all the major oil fields, right? So remember, Ghawar is in Saudi Arabia. Next, the 67th question. So this question is on the Daksha scheme, PM Daksha Yojana. So Daksha scheme is related to the skill development. So if you see, Daksh means Dakshata or Kaushalta Sampanna Hitagrahi. So Kaushal, that means with regard to skill. So you can just remember like that. So Daksha is related to the skill development by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Starting from 2020-21, it aims to provide free training to the persons from SCs, OBCs, these are 5 Karamcharis, etc. through upskilling, reskilling, short-term training process, long-term training program and entrepreneurship development program. Eligibility, if you see, the marginalized people of SC, OBC, economically backward classes, denotified tribe, sanitation workers including waste pickers, manual scavengers, transgenders and other categories. Implemented through 3 categories: the SC's Finance and Development Corporation, the National Backward Classes Finance and Development Corporation, National Safai Karmcharis Financial and Development Corporation, implemented through all these three. This is about Daksh. Daksh is related to K means Kaushal, so something related to the skill development by Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment. 68th question is with regarding to coal deposits. If you see, with regarding to coal deposits, the coal occurs in two geological ages, Gondwana and the tertiary deposits. 65% of total coal production is for electricity only. The process of steel making is based on metallurgical coal. The cement industry consumes 5% of total production. Coal is an important source of naphtha and ammonia, and also used for making chemical fertilizers. Tar, benzene, carbon black, and soft coke is also used in fuel in the kitchens. India in 2018 is ranked second in the world's coal production. Chhattisgarh has the largest, or it is the largest coal producer, followed by Odisha. Important Gondwana coal fields, Damodar Valley in Jharkhand, the Bengal coal belt, and the Raniganj, Zaria, Bokaro, the Grid, Karampura. Okay, so Zaria is the largest coal field, followed by Raniganj, and other river valley coal fields. If you see Godavari, Mahanadi, and there are some of the mining centers in Singrauli in Madhya Pradesh, Korba in Chhattisgarh, Talcher and Rampur in Odisha, like that. Then tertiary coal, if you see, tertiary coal is there in Assam, Arunachal, Meghalaya. That means to the northeast. To the northeast, we will find these tertiary coal fields. Okay, and it is extracted from the Dharangiri, Cherrapunji in Meghalaya, Mavlong and Langring in also in Meghalaya, Makum, Jaipur and Nazriya in Upper Assam. Remember Makum, Jaipur in Nazriya in Upper Assam, and Namphuk, Arunachal Pradesh, and Kalkot in Jammu and Kashmir. And when we talk about the world's coal reserves and producers, USA has the largest coal reserves in the world, 24% of the world's share. After that, Russia is at the second place, after that Australia, and after that China. China is the largest producer of coal and lignite in 2018 with 46% of share, followed by India, USA, Australia and Indonesia. So this is with regard to the coal production. India is the second largest producer after China. Okay. Coming to 69th question, and this is on the petroleum. Petroleum is considered as a black or liquid gold, second to coal in terms of source of energy. The crude oil, petroleum is generally found in sedimentary rocks of tertiary period. Remember this. We can find this petroleum reserve in the sedimentary rocks. Also, even the shale gas also can be found in sedimentary rocks. Hydraulic fracking is a drilling method to extract petroleum and natural gas from deep in the earth. Generally, this fracking technology is used for extracting these gas and petroleum reserves from the shale rocks. Okay, remember this. On 31st of March 2019, India estimated 618.95 metric tons of crude reserves, and there is increase by 4.1% from the previous estimation. Okay, this is about petroleum. Now let's move on to the 71st question, because 70th question is on the primitive subsistence agriculture, which is similar to that of the 36th question that we have discussed. So next, 71st question, and this question, 71st question, is with regarding to the water bodies of the European and American countries. So Rhine waterway, if you see, it flows via Switzerland, Germany, France, Belgium and Netherlands, and then it reaches to the North Sea, and it starts in Switzerland. So the Rhine river starts in Switzerland, goes on like this, and finally it reaches the North Sea. This is about the Rhine waterway, and it flows along the boundary of France, Germany, and drains Germany and Netherlands with the mouth near the North Sea. Next important river is the Volga river. Volga river, if you see, it is the longest river in Europe, situated in Russia. Volga river is in Russia and it drains into Caspian Sea. Remember these things. Danube, if you see, it is the second longest river in Europe, flows via Central and Southeast Europe from Black Forest into the Black Sea. That is Danube. Danube is the second longest river in Europe. Next, Mississippi. Mississippi, if you see, it is the second longest river in US, and it is the chief river of the second largest drainage system on North American continent, second to Hudson Bay drainage system. From its traditional source, the lake Itasca is in North Minnesota. It flows south from 3,770 km to Mississippi River Delta in the Gulf of Mexico. So this is about Volga, Danube and Mississippi rivers. Next, Kuwait. 72nd question is about Kuwait. Kuwait's prime minister resigned and there is a political crisis. So just know about these countries around Kuwait. And so if you see this Kuwait map, it is surrounded by Saudi in the south and Iraq in the north. Okay, remember this. This is the geography of Kuwait. Next, about the coal bed methane. The coal bed methane, if you see, it is the unconventional form of, just a second. Yeah. So next, 73rd question on coal bed methane. The coal bed methane is the unconventional form of natural gas found in the coal deposits or the coal seams. It is formed during coalification. So India has the 5th largest proven coal reserves in the world. So that is the reason. That means here we are trapping the methane which is found in these coal reserves. That is called as coal bed methane. Global coal bed methane production, if you see, 5.8 BCFD, that means billion cubic feet per day, from 15 basins in US, Canada, Australia, China and India. USA is the world leader in this coal bed methane exploration, the booked reserves and production. And the major producing areas are Powder River, the San Juan, the Black Warrior, the Central Appalachian, the Raton, Uten, etc. So coal bed methane is an unconventional form of natural gas found in the coal deposits or coal seams. That means during the formation of coal and a lot of methane will get deposited in the coal fields, and those coal fields, they are segregated and collected, and that is called as the coal bed methane. Okay. Next, the 74th question is on jowar. Jowar is a coarse cereal. It occupies 16.5% of total cropped area, and among these, the jowar, sorghum. So generally the coarse cereals occupy 16.5% of total cropped area, and out of that, jowar is about 5.3%. So the coarse cereals are very important. Apart from the cereals, these coarse cereals, they are produced in few areas very prominently, and they are being consumed also. They are very good for health as well. Maharashtra produces 50% of the total jowar of the country. So Maharashtra is the largest producer. And other leading producer states are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It is sown in both Kharif as well as Rabi. And for jowar, the soils are loamy, sandy, clay, rigor, alluvium, etc. And next you have bajra. Bajra is sown in hot and dry climatic conditions. It is a hardy crop and it resists dry spells and drought in the region. Grows in the area of rainfall where the rainfall is between 40 to 50 centimeters and temperature is 25 to 30 centimeters. It grows well on sandy and shallow black soil. So bajra, the largest producer, if you see, it is also Maharashtra only. For jowar and bajra, for both it is Maharashtra, followed by Gujarat, UP, Rajasthan. And it's a rain-fed crop, and also the yield level is low in Rajasthan. Next, 75th question is on the solid fuel ducted ramjet. We have two engines, the ramjet engine and the scramjet engine. Okay, so this ramjet engine is basically that engine which functions at supersonic speed. That means about 3 Mach to 6 Mach. The ramjet engine will use the forward motion of the rocket. It will use the vehicle's forward motion to compress the incoming air. That means it does not need any compressor. That is about ramjet. On the other hand, you have scramjet. Scramjet means supersonic combustion ramjet. That means it functions in the supersonic speed. That means more than 6 Mach. Up till 6 Mach we will use the ramjet, and for more than 6 Mach we will need this scramjet. Next is this dual mode ramjet, which is a type of ramjet where ramjet transforms into scramjet over the Mach 4 to 8. That means when it crosses supersonic speed and passes into this hypersonic, that is more than 6 Mach, then the ramjet will become scramjet. It can operate both on subsonic, supersonic combustion modes. And the SFDR, solid fuel ducted ramjet, is a missile propulsion system with a thrust modulated ducted rocket with a reduced smoke nozzle which is less than the missile booster. And it uses a solid fueled air breathing ramjet engine. So in simple words, ramjet and scramjet are two major engines. Ramjet is that engine which functions in the supersonic speeds. Ramjet functions supersonic, that means from Mach 3 to Mach 6. So 1 Mach is equal to the speed of sound. Okay, 1 Mach is speed of sound. So at 3 times the speed of sound, nearly we will use this ramjet engine. At 6 Mach, generally we will use the scramjet engine, which is a hypersonic engine. Okay. And as per DRDO, the solid fuel ducted ramjet based propulsion enables missiles to intercept aerial threats at a very long range at supersonic speeds. The SFDR helps to develop long range air to air missiles. Because in this SFDR, what happens is that the engine will take all the oxygen and everything from the air itself, and it will not carry extra oxygen. Next, the 76th question is on Human Development Index. So Human Development Index, if you see, it is the measurement of a long and healthy life, being knowledgeable and decent standard of living. These three are there. And health dimension, if you see, it is assessed by the life expectancy at birth. Education dimension is measured by the mean years of schooling for the adult age 25 and more, and expected years of schooling for children of school entering age. And the standard of living dimension is measured by the gross national income per capita. Thus GDP is not used for measuring HDI. So for HDI, if you see, these three are used and not GDP. That means the life expectancy at birth, the mean years of schooling, and the standard of living. These three are used but not the GDP. This is about Human Development Index, and this is released by UNDP. Remember this, United Nations Development Program. The Human Development Index is released by UNDP. Next, the 77th question. This is on the geomagnetic storm watches. So what are geomagnetic storms? These are basically the strong disturbances to the Earth's magnetic field. The strong disturbances to the Earth's magnetic field generally is caused by various ejections of the sun, which is called as the coronal mass ejections. These coronal mass ejections are the ejections that come out of the sun's field. From the sun's field they come, okay? And they mostly affect these satellites and other communication devices that we have in the space. That is about these geomagnetic storms. These geomagnetic storms last for few hours to few days. The aurora which we see is a kind of geomagnetic storm only. The geomagnetic storms induces currents that impact the electrical transmission equipment. The geomagnetic storms, if you see, they are defined by changes in the disturbance, which is the storm time index. The DST index estimate globally average changes of horizontal component of the Earth's magnetic field. The geomagnetic storm intensities, it is reported in several different ways, including K index, A index, and G scale. Okay, this is about these geomagnetic storms. Next, the Kiel Canal. The 78th question is on Kiel Canal. Remember, Kiel Canal is in Germany. Kiel Canal is in Germany. It is opened in 1895 and shortens the passage between North Sea and the Baltic Sea. So in this image you can see in the North Germany we have this Kiel Canal. So it connects the North Sea and the Baltic Sea. So in this image you can see very clearly how it connects this North Sea and the Baltic Sea. Okay, earlier they used to surround this Denmark and they used to go to this Baltic Sea, which is very long. But with this Kiel Canal, they can directly pass through Germany and go to the Baltic Sea. This is about Kiel Canal. Next, 79th question is on the steel plants. The Rourkela steel plant. It is in Odisha. Rourkela steel plant in Odisha, set up in 1959 in Sundargarh in collaboration with Germany. This Rourkela steel plant receives coal from Jharia in Jharkhand and iron ore from Sundargarh and Kenjur. The Hirakud project supplies the power for electrical furnaces and water is obtained from Koel and Sank rivers. This is about a Rourkela steel plant in Odisha. Next, the Bhilai steel plant. This Bhilai steel plant was set up with the help of Russia in Durgapur, Chhattisgarh, and it started production in 1959. The iron ore, it comes from the Dali Rajara mine, which is there near to it, and the coal from the Korba and Kargi coal fields. And the water comes from the Tandul Dam and power from the Korba thermal power station. It lies on this Kolkata-Mumbai rail route. And water are obtained from the Damodar Valley Corporation. So this is about Durgapur. Durgapur steel plant is in West Bengal. The availability of surface water and replenishable groundwater is 1869 cubic kilometers. Out of this, only 60% can be put ponds. And India has 2.45% of the world's surface area and 4% of world's water resources in the form of lagoons and lakes as well. Although the water is brackish, but it still can be used for fishing and irrigating variety of paddy crops, coconut, etc. Agriculture takes up about 89% of the surface water and 92% of underground water. This is a major thing. 90% of underground water is just used for agriculture, but agriculture is also very less productive. Okay, this is about the water resources in India. Next, 81st question. With a certain minimum infrastructure for delivering digital banking products and services to ensure the convenient and cost-effective banking to the consumers. They aim at enhancing the spread of digital modes of banking in India. DBU is the digital banking unit. So in simple words, they are the banking units which are in the digital form, which are specialized fixed points which give the people the digital services. And the major guidelines, if you see, all domestic scheduled commercial banks excluding RRBs, payment banks and local area banks with past digital banking experience can open these DBUs. That means especially in rural areas, if you see, they will not have access to these digital devices and all. But for them to get access to these digital services and all, these digital banking units can be set up easily. So this is about this digital banking units. Now let's move on to the next question. The 83rd question is which is on iron and steel. This iron and steel, if you see, their ore is hematite and magnetite. The iron generally is obtained from this ore. 79% of the hematite ore are in eastern sector in India, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha and UP. 93% of magnetite ore occurs in the southern sector, Andhra Pradesh, Goa, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu. Karnataka contributes 72% of magnetite deposits in India. Okay, so hematite and magnetite are iron ore deposits. Location of the iron ore mines, if you see, in Odisha, iron occurs in the hill ranges of Sundargarh, Mayurbhanj and Jar. Important mines are the Gurumahinsani, the Sulaipet, the Badamfar, the Kirbru and Bonai. And Jharkhand, if you see, the Noamudi and Guva are in Purbi and Paschimi Singhbhum districts. So this belt extends to Durg, Dantewada and Bailadela. The Dali and Rajgarh in Durg are important mines of iron ore. In Karnataka, if you see, the iron ore occurs in Sandur, Hospet area of Ballari. Okay. And in Andhra, if you see, in Kadapa, we can find Anantapur districts, Salem and Nilgiri in Tamil Nadu. Goa is also an important producer of this iron ore. So these are the various important ores in India. Right. So here you can see the important ores. The next question, the 84th question, is on settlements. So first is the clustered settlements. So clustered settlement means compact, closely built areas of houses. Generally living area is separated from the surrounding farms and pastures. So here people live in these clusters, in some clusters like this. Okay, then they stay separated from the surrounding farms and pastures. They closely build up area and its intervening streets are present in some recognizable or geometric shapes. They are found in the fertile alluvial plains and northeastern states. Next, semi-clustered or fragmented settlements. It results from the tendency of clustering in a restricted area of dispersed settlement. One or more section of village society choose or is forced to live in a little away from the main cluster of villages. So semi-clustered means, so here people sometimes live in some restricted area or dispersed settlement. All the people will not live in same place. Few people will live in one place and few people will live in a dispersed manner. The land owning and dominant communities occupies the central part of the main village, whereas people of lower strata of society and menial workers settle on the outer flanks of villages. Such can be found in Gujarat, Rajasthan, etc. That means the main caste and all, they will live inside the village in the main area, And the other caste and the lower caste people, they stay on the periphery of the village, on the outside of the village. Next is dispersed or isolated settlement, where isolated huts or hamlets or few huts in remote jungles or on hills with farms or pasture on slopes. That means here people will live along with their farms and all in a dispersed manner. This is about the dispersed or isolated settlement. Extreme dispersion of settlement is found in the fragmented nature of terrain and land resources, base of habitable areas, example Meghalaya, Uttaranchal and all. In these hilly areas we find this extreme dispersion. Next, 85th question is on maize. Maize, if you see, it is known as the queen of cereals because of its highest genetic yield potential. It is used as food as well as a fodder crop. It grows under the semi-arid climatic condition. It is a kharif crop. It needs 21 to 27 degrees centigrades and grows well in the alluvial. States like Bihar, the maize is grown in the Rabi season as well. But mainly maize is a kharif crop. It is cultivated in all the type of agroecological conditions. In India, Karnataka, Rajasthan, Andhra Pradesh and Madhya Pradesh constitute half of total maize acreage. Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan and Bihar account for 2/3 of total maize production. Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh has largest share in the maize area, but their contribution is lower. Now in the recent times, it is introduced in Punjab and eastern and northeastern regions as well. So among maize growing countries, India ranks 4th in the area and 7th in the production, representing 4% of the world's maize area and 2% of production. Okay, so India is the 7th largest producer of maize. Now let's move on to the next question. The 86th question on plantation. This is a repeated question. Already we have discussed in the previous lecture. 87th question is on manganese. So manganese question is also repeated. We have discussed it already. Next, 88th question. It is on the types of farming. So we have various types of farming, the mixed farming, intercropping, etc. So mixed farming means in general in the mixed farming, the crops are grown along with the animal rearing. That is called as mixed farming. And this type is found in highly developed parts of the world, example northwestern Europe, eastern North America, Eurasia, etc. The crop rotation and intercropping is very important to improve the fertility of soil, because if you grow the same crop, the crop will utilize all the nutrients over time and the nutrient replenishment in the soil will not happen. So the crop rotation is very important. Next, the northern Atlantic sea route, and this links the northeast US, northwest Europe. The foreign traders here is more than the rest of the world combined. 1/4 of the world's foreign trade happens through this route. This is one of the busiest route, in fact, the North Atlantic sea route. The busiest in the world, the big trunk route is there here itself. So this North Atlantic sea route is very busy one. Next, 90th question is on sunflower. Sunflower, it is an important oil seed growing in temperate countries. It is a major source of vegetable oil in the world. It is one of the world's largest producers, one of the largest producers in the world. India is one of the largest producers in the world of and in India, Karnataka is the largest producer. Sunflower contribution to Indian oil seeds production is 3.85%. It needs cool climate during germination and seedling growth. High humidity accompanied by cloudy weather and rainfall at time of this flowering results in poor seed sets. The photo-insensitive crop can be grown in any season via Kharif, Rabi and spring throughout India. Takes about 80 to 90 days. The sunflower, unlike other crops, is not affected by season and day length, can be grown on wide range of soils and tolerates moderate pH range and some salinity as well. It is best grows on this deep loamy soil with good drainage and irrigation. Optimum range of soil pH is 6.5 to 8.5. So this is about this sunflower. Next, the 91st question is on the new industrial policy of 1991. So as you all know, in 1991 we have liberalized our economy. The LPG reform started. The aim is to build on the gains made, correct distortions or weaknesses that crept in, maintain sustained growth in productivity and gainful employment, and detail international competitiveness. The measures initiated are abolition of industrial licensing, free and fair entry of the foreign technology, the foreign investment policy, the investments are brought in, and access to capital markets, opening of trade, abolition of phased manufacturing program, and liberalized industrial program. Because earlier, before 1991, the government used to control the capital that is coming in, the companies that can come and invest. Also, the government used to restrict the trade. The government also used to restrict the production, how much to produce, what to produce. All of these things are taken by the, all of these things are controlled by the government. So now everything is left to the market. After 1991, even the partial capital account convertibility also started. That means only beyond a certain limit, the government will interfere in the capital that is coming in. That is with regard to FDIs. Otherwise, the rest of the money can directly be invested in India. So that is about this new industrial policy of 1991. So next, the 92nd question is on the account aggregator. The 5 out of 12 public sector lenders are working with their technology service providers to go live on the account aggregator system. So account aggregator, if you see, so here there will be this RBI regulated entity which will be regulated by RBI, helps individuals securely and digitally access and share information from one financial institutions they have account with to any other financial institution in this network. Data cannot be shared without individual's consent. That means the data of the individual will have the security. Okay, and let's say they have this account with this bank A or this financial institution A, that cannot share data without the consent of this individual. That is called as this account aggregator. Aadhaar eKYC is important for this, and the credit bureau data only shows the loan history and the credit score. The AA network allows sharing of transaction data or bank statements from the savings or deposits account. Next, the 93rd question, which is on the anti-tank guided missile. This anti-tank guided missile Helena, it is indigenously developed anti-tank guided missile, and it is a helicopter version of the Nag missile developed by DRDO. So it is a third generation fire and forget anti-tank guided missile surmounted on advanced light helicopter, which is the Dhruv currently, which is built by HAL, the Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So it has a system that has all-weather day and night capabilities. It can defeat battle tanks with conventional armor and explosive reactive armor. It can engage targets in indirect hit mode plus top attack mode. In the top attack mode, the missiles need to climb sharply after the launch and travel a certain altitude to plunge into the top of the target. In direct hit mode, the missile travels at lower altitude, striking the target. So this Helena is a helicopter version of Nag. Nag is an anti-tank guided missile developed by DRDO. Next, 94th question is on the basic indicator for employment. The working age population in general, it is 15 to 59 years, but sometimes it is considered as 15 to 64 years as well. Okay, and the working, here it is given clearly, the working population begins from 15 years of age and not 18 years. And the age dependency ratio is the ratio of dependent population, people younger than 59 or 59 plus, younger than 15 or 59 plus, because they are the dependent population, they will not be part of this workforce. So ratio of this population to the working age population, that means 15 to 59 years. It is measured as the percentage of population. Next, 95th question is on the continents. Asia is the largest continent, most populous continent with 4.86 billion people, and Africa is the second largest continent by population with 1.37. It is also the second largest continent. Next, Oceania, the population growth rate is about 1.27%, and it is the second fastest growing continent. Next, the 96th question is on Vedantakal Bird Sanctuary. Remember, Vedantakal Bird Sanctuary is in Tamil Nadu. It is a notified reserve forest which was done in 1963 under the Madras Act of 1882. So this Vedantakal Bird Sanctuary is in Tamil Nadu, and recently we had two new Ramsar sites. The Kijadia is in Gujarat, and the Bakriya Wildlife Sanctuary in UP. Kijadia, Gujarat, Bakriya in UP. So this Bakriya Wildlife Sanctuary in UP, it is a safe wintering and staging ground for large number of species of the Central Asian flyway, while Kijadia in Gujarat, it is a coastal wetland with rich alluvium, with rich avifaunal density, providing a safe habitat to endangered and vulnerable species. So as we all know, the Ramsar sites are these wetlands which are of heavy importance. Bikaria is a new wetland in Gujarat and Bikaria in UP and Kijadia in Gujarat are the two new Ramsar sites. Next, the permanent pasture. The permanent pasture is used to grow grasses and other herbaceous forage naturally or via cultivation. So why it is called permanent is that they are self-seeded. They don't need any extra seeds for the cultivation. Okay, so they generally are owned by the village panchayat or the government, and only a small proportion of this land is privately owned. Okay. Next is the current fallow. So current fallow means the land which is left uncultivated for one or less agricultural year. That is called as current fallow. The fallowing or cultural practice adopted for giving the land rest, and the land recoups its lost fertility through a natural process. That means that the land is not used or nothing is grown in the land for one agricultural season. That is called as the current fallow. Next question is with regard to dams. So the Rihand or Govind Balla Pant Sagar. So this is the largest dam in India by volume, located in UP. It is located in the Rihand, which is a tributary of Son. The catchment area of this dam extends over UP, MP and Chhattisgarh, where it supplies irrigation water in Bihar, located downstream of river. Next, the Hirakud Dam. Hirakud Dam is in Odisha. It is the longest dam in India with respect to the length, 25.79 kilometers. Situated over Mahanadi River. Hirakud Dam over Mahanadi River in Odisha. Rihand Dam in UP. Mettur Dam. So Mettur Dam is a 1700 meter long dam across the Kaveri River. Mettur Dam across Kaveri River. So this is in between, you can say, Kerala and Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Constructed in 1934. So last time when there were floods, there was this huge issue between these two states with regarding to the water storage and release. Next, the Salal Power Station. So this Salal Power Station is a run-of-the-river scheme with a capacity of 690 megawatts over the Chenab River, located in Reasi, Jammu and Kashmir. So Rihand or Govind Balla Pant Sagar Dam in Uttar Pradesh. Hirakud Dam in Odisha over the Mahanadi. So this Rihand is the largest dam in terms of volume. Hirakud Dam is the longest. Mettur Dam is over Kaveri River. Okay. Next, the 99th question is on the uranium and thorium. The uranium deposits generally occurs in the Dharwar rocks. Uranium occurs along the Singhbhum copper belt, also found in Udaipur, Alwar, the Junjun in Rajasthan, and so on and so forth. The largest source of uranium is the monazite sand. That's why if you see on monazite, we will find questions frequently in UPSC. So the beaches and alluvial soil have this monazite. Some uranium is found in copper mines in Udaipur as well. Thorium, if you see, it is obtained from the monazite and ilmenite in the beach sands along the coast of Kerala and Tamil Nadu. World's richest monazite deposits in Palakkad and Kollam districts of Kerala, and also near Visakhapatnam in Andhra Pradesh and Mahanadi Delta in Odisha. And thorium in future will be used in these nuclear reactors as well. Australia has the world's largest uranium reserves, which is about 31%, followed by Kazakhstan, Canada and Russia. India has very less uranium reserves. Andhra Pradesh, followed by Jharkhand and Meghalaya, have the largest uranium reserves. Next, the 100th question is on the conurbation. So here it is nothing but expansion of the city boundaries, that is called as conurbation. Expansion of the city boundaries due to rapid increase in population and technological development. The urban centers generally increases. The urbanization plus regional development both happens. So that is called as this word conurbation. It is used by Patrick Geddes in 1915 with respect to the continuous urban area and more than two urban centers which may have the separate territorial units. So that means with the expansion of this urbanization, cities expand a lot, and two areas which are of different places, they come together and merge slowly. That is called as this conurbation. Okay, so these are the questions of this test 4 in fact. In the next lecture, we will start with test 5, where we will discuss the first set of questions. Okay, and all the document or all the questions that we have discussed are part of this summary document which is prepared by us. These summary documents, you can get access to them by subscribing via the Telegram channel. The details are given here. You can also check the quality of these summary documents in our Telegram channel. They are available over there. Okay, so that's it guys in this lecture. I'll see you again in the next lecture. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned. Jai Hind.